Hi, my name is Steve Byrne. I've been asked to speak to you a little bit about NLP. I've been practicing NLP now for some years, and when I first got into NLP, when I was teaching and studying martial arts, I wanted to get as much as I could from my students, for them personally, and how they could be personally involved in their own progression in martial arts. So as we know, everything starts on the inside. Rather than on the outside to the inside, it's from the inside to the out. The techniques of NLP allow them to see where they needed to go. It allowed them to use what they could use mentally to get them from where they are to where they need to be. This worked really well. Well, let me state, but I was my own best client when I started to study NLP. And I'll give you a reason why. In the early years, I was a printer. I was employed as a printer, but I didn't really like my job. Who does? So what I wanted to do was I needed to get up early in the morning because I'd stay in bed as long as I could just to get the extra few minutes. Buzzer would go off many times and I'd leave it right to the end and then run out the door. Not even a cup of coffee and playing catch up for the rest of the day. So the technique that I use that's in NLP is when I was reaching for the buzzer, did you give me that few minutes snooze, I seen my boss's face. And I brought it right up close to me, full colour and moving, and I turned the sound up in the picture, and that motivated me not to hit the snooze button. So that technique really worked. And a lot of other techniques work really, really well. So from then I moved deeper into NLP. Eventually I became qualified and I studied at the Irish Institute in 2008. NLP, what's it stand for and what its background? NLP is Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Possibly sounds a little bit like, when I explain this to people, it's like brainwashing. And I said, yeah, but in a good way. If you want to move forward and the things that are holding you back, well, yeah, NLP has many tools that will help you to move from where you are in stagnation of procrastination to where you want to be. This is done through, when we interact with the world, we take in our experiences through our senses, from what we see, what we hear, what we feel, and what we taste and smell. These are all calibrated, if you will, and they are stored within our brain, not always in the right place. Our bad experiences are up here in the front of the brain. So if we had a bad experience, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a trauma or whatever, you know, these things are foremost in our mind, and we get something that's associated to it and it brings it all back as if you were just there. With the NLP techniques, we can put that where it needs to be. It files back to where it should be in the past. You remain the experience and the learning experience of whatever you've gone through. But the good thing about it, it's in the past and it doesn't have the hold on you that it had before. And allows you then to move on in your life. So, for example, if you had a fear of mice or phobias, usually you would see the mouse and be really up close from. He's got big teeth, big ears, and he's right up close to you, it's in full colour and he's moving. Yeah, that's usually what people would see if you have a phobia. What we would do is change those subnormalities, or what you see, what you feel, what you taste. So we change the pictures and how you access them. So when you access your memory of the instant, it's not the same. Instead of being in colour, it's in black and white. Instead of being up, it's far away. The location is important as well. This is usually done on a one-to-one with a practitioner, qualified practitioner, and it could take 10 minutes, could take an hour. The brain works very fast. It's not slow in its learning. The quicker the brain works, that's the way it actually works, and it retains what it needs to retain. I think you would be comfortable working with a practitioner, and the integrity of the practitioner is always important, and you'll realise that when you walk into his presence. Finding out where you are to where you want to be is the first step. One of the questions I was asked when I started NLP was, what do you want? That's a hard one. So when you find out what you want and you get very specific about it, well, then you can follow the path to where you want to go to. But ask them where you want. Most people say, I want to be happy. And one of the books I read by Richard Bandler, who's the co-creator of NLP, along with Mr. Grimmer, and one of the things he said when a client said, I want to be happy, one of the things he did say was, I'm sorry that job was taken, one of the 7 dwarfs got that one, so, what makes you happy? Qualify happiness. Is it money? Is it success? Is it relationships? Is it all of those? Or can you be happy with having all or none of those? It's a conscious decision of you having control of your life. Having more of what you want and less of what you don't want. It's putting you back in control to actually live every day the way you want to live. A lot of us are programmed. We take on our parents' beliefs and understandings, and for all the best intentions in the world, some of them are not great. So if we want to have our own understanding, our own belief systems, where we can move forward from where we are, out of our comfort zone to where we can grow. If we want to be happier and more content, well, there is a mechanism to do that, of how do you interact with the world. And also the NLP, if you're talking with somebody in a relationship problem, I found them really, really good. And I'll qualify that by, have you ever spoke to somebody and they're saying, you just don't see what I mean. And he said, when I hear you, first person was visual. I don't see what I mean. The other person was auditory. Another person might be on getting a grip on a problem. So they're kinesthetic, a feeling person. There's a lot of misconception about rapport. Rapport is about building up an understanding or getting on with somebody in your talk. The best way, one of the ways that you can use, is to listen to exactly what they're saying. So if they're saying, I can't see my way out of this, so they're visual. And if you were to turn around and say, I hear what you're saying, well then there's a misreport there, very slight. But if they say, I can't see where we're going, and if you were to turn around and say, would you be able to see it if it happened like this? Do you have a vision of yourself getting out? Is it clearer this way? Therefore, both of you are talking in a visual sense. And that has been a great help to me. It means you've got to be in the moment when you're working with somebody or when you're talking. So you have to be there to be open. But a lot of the techniques are very easy to use and very simple. Again, what I do recommend is that you go to a qualified practitioner. I hope you've learned something from NLP. My agreeing to do this was to give you some inspiration, an idea of what NLP is and how you can be helped. If I can help you, please call me on 087 242 5592. If not, find another practitioner. There's lots of us around, and we're willing to help. Good evening.